take the lead of every step I make, even if you tell my feet to wait. 'Cause where you are is where I wanna be. The depth of me is calling for the deep. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you.
Well, good morning, Lufkin Central and Online Worship Community. Jason Hollinger, the campus and community minister here. And for our time in Jesus and Coffee, we're back on schedule after taking a day off. And we are in Matthew chapter 7. As we're continuing through the Sermon on the Mount, we're going to be looking at verses 1 through 5, the old do not judge section. Hear the word of the Lord. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. All right? And so he's saying, listen, and Matthew says, in the eschatological sense that, yes, ultimately God is going to cast judgment. That God is going to be the one that will be judging others in the end of things. But he also speaks to that command of believers. That in essence, he's saying, listen, judgment is reserved for God. That's God's role. That's what He is going to do. But He also says, those occasions when we can render those negative evaluations of each other, and many times they are for the purposes of revenge or retribution. And so He's saying, listen, He is commanding us to having these attitudes of stop criticizing others. Stop criticizing others. Stop casting these judgments, these forming these critical opinions of someone to examine or scrutinize them. He says, knock it off. Because he says, listen, because in the same way you do it to them, they're going to do it to you. It's going to come back on you. Picking up in verse 3, he starts to then use a hyperbole, if you will, with a speck and a plank. Verse 3, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. He's clearly not concerned with literal pieces of foreign matter in people's eyes, of specks and planks. It's a bigger situation of criticizing someone else when there's this we're criticizing somebody else for being lazy and not tending to things, and we're lazy. We're calling that out in them, and that's not saying we can't form an opinion and see something in someone else, but it's practice what you preach. And so he makes this idea is that we're when we cast a judgment on him, we're not absolved of the responsibility to take care of those things in our own life. He's saying, listen, if you're going to lead others to be like Christ. Now we're not talking about just being lazy. You're going to lead others to be like Christ. Guess what? How about you as well? Because remember, all throughout chapter 5, relationships with others, our personal relationships, the way that we see, the way that we treat others. Chapter 6, those characteristics of kingdom servants. And now we start to get to this own matter of dealing with things in our lives as we help others deal with things in their lives. Because remember, for many, how they see us, that's the way they see God. That's the way they view God. That's the way they understand Him. So here's my challenge to you today. As you think about the opportunity that you have to be Jesus, the opportunity to see someone. Over the weekend, lost a very good friend. My one of my best friends, Mike friends. Someone who had an ability to really see people. Mike dealt with Crohn's since he was a teenager. And he understood he understood suffering, he understood pain, he understood limitations. And he just had this ability of seeing people and not seeing them based off the things they're going through outwardly, and not even really saying that what they're going through at that time, well, that's who they are forever. He saw people. And that's my challenge to you today. See someone. See them for not what they're going through, but see them as a child of God. And if they've strayed from that, help lead them back. And show them how you're doing it in your own life as well. Can't wait to hear and see how it goes. Y'all have a great day. God bless.
I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Your heart, your ways, show me your face, your song and your voice break through the noise. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. No, I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you, God. Whisper to me secrets of your heart, 'cause I want to discover all you are. I'm leaning into heaven for a glimpse, and I will partner with your presence here again. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Your heart, your ways, show me your face, your song and your voice break through the noise. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. No, I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. Just want you, God. All that I see, be my everything. All that I dream, lay it at your feet. All that I am, falling on my knees. I surrender, I surrender. All that I see, be my everything. All that I dream, lay it at your feet. All that I am, falling on my knees. I surrender, I surrender. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want you. I don't want it if you're not in it. I just want